All right, guys and gals. Well, I didn't want to have to make this video, but the truth is out there. I have been outed. I hate competition, and I want you to fail. Guys and gals, thank you so much for being part of this video. Thank you for being part of this channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Jason. I'm co-owner of Flash Love Logistics LLC. We are a trucking company out of Missouri. We started with one non-CDL Hotshot setup back in 2020. Grew the company up to about 8 total setups on the road at one time. Had a couple semi-trucks, a couple F550s with sleepers on them, pulling 40-foot goosenecks with air ride, couple non-CDL guys. I mean, we've really tried it all. We've done a lot in the trucking sphere, pulled a lot of different trailers, and really just tried to figure out what was going to be the most profitable setup, what was going to be the best thing to be able to build and expand. Nowadays, we've kind of teetered it back a little bit, just working mostly with lease-ons, sold my semis. But over the last 5 years, I've really just making videos about trucking. I've been making videos about what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us. And as time goes on, and as I learn more, and as I grow, and as I try things that have worked and try things that haven't worked, I share that with you. That's what I've done ever since the start. And one very important thing about all of this is just trying to be as honest with you as possible. That is always a big portion of my videos. I don't gain anything from lying to you guys. I just want to tell you how I truly feel. Now, at the end of the day, I don't know everything. I haven't experienced everything, but I have ran trucks all across the United States. I have dispatched for all sorts of setups, for non-CDL Hotshot setups that can haul 8,000 pounds, up to full-size semi-trucks, doing flatbed, doing step deck, doing reefer, doing dry van. I've hauled 40-foot goosenecks that can haul 22,000 pounds. I mean, I've dispatched for a lot of different trucks, and I've also done a lot of business consultation where people will talk to me. That is the only thing I sell is a business consultation. You have a one-on-one conversation with me, go over everything, go over your whole company, go over your plans. If you want to start a company, I'll give you my honest opinions and also help you connect you with people that I use that have worked really well for me. I've used bad factoring companies. I've used good factoring companies. I've used bad fuel cards. I've used good fuel cards, right? And I've gotten difficult situations with fine print in contracts that I wish I never got into. And then now I can teach you to look out for that fine print in those contracts, right? But all of that to say, I've had that experience. I don't know everything, and so don't ever take anything I say in any video as gold, right? That's not true. I mean, go out, live your dream, go after it, right? When I first started trucking, I learned everything at that time off YouTube videos, off creators during the time. I spent a lot of time trying to learn the regulations, learn what to do, learn what not to do, and you still get burned at the end of the day. But I jumped into trucking with a lot of optimism. I jumped in I was looking at drive-by like CFI here locally or Prime, but we're going to be bigger than you one day, and I ran into it head first, right? I made a lot of bad decisions. But I do believe in business, you do have to have a level of optimism to run into things, to really, push forward and push through things, right? But as you learn and gain experience, that's very important thing is when you're in a bad situation and you get out of it, well, you learn from that situation. That's the value that comes from that situation, is learning from that situation. So I always tried to do that. And once I learned from those situations, I wanted to teach you guys, right? I wanted to teach you guys. And that is something that has always been very crucial for what I do. Over the last 2 or 3 years, I have been more critical about hotshot trucking. I've been more critical about non-CDL hotshot. I've been more critical about semi-trucking. The reason about that is because I have seen it in my own business, but I've also seen it in hundreds of other people's businesses. I have a lot of people comment talking. I have a lot of people that just call me out of the blue and we talk for hours. I have a lot of people that buy the business consultations and we go over everything. And a lot of times I see people that jump into non-CDL hotshot because they have seen a video on Instagram that just hyped them up, and they bought like a little packet of what they needed to do. Now they're on the road, right? And they're not making any money, and they're actually losing money, and they're in a worse position than if they never even started. I see people jumping into CDL hotshot. I see people doing these things, and all I'm trying to do is give you my honest opinion about the actions that you're taking, right? That is just what I'm going to do. If you don't want to listen to me, I do not care. But at the end of the day, it is not. It never has ever been a part of how I don't want competition. There's literally no level of competition that would affect me, right? If everybody that watched my video, let's say for example, I got 2,000 views on the video I made a couple days ago. If every single person there created a non-CDL hotshot trucking company or CDL hotshot trucking company, I still, it would not matter to me. It would not change any of our operations. It would not change the freight that I would be hauling. It would not change the rates that would occur. None of that would happen, right? It's not about that at all. What it is about is I do not want to see people make these bad decisions, in my opinion, and put themselves in bad positions And if they just would have taken a little bit more time, if they just would have went out and got their CDL, if they just would have, just slowed down a little bit, they would be in a better position today for their families, right? None of us want to get, I don't even wish this on my worst enemy to be in a position where they don't have money in the bank account to feed their kids. That is nowhere we want to be, right? And I've seen people who have $20,000, $30,000 in their bank account, and they get started and they lose all of the money. And then a year and a half down the road, they say, I have a truck where I owe way too much money on it. It's not worth it. And I have $0 in my bank account. How do I get out of this, right? And so I try to say, hey, we don't want to be in that position. Let's learn from the situation. And so other people don't get in that same position. I mean, I've been in positions with trucking when I have a $10,000 repair to make on a truck and I don't have any of the money, right? You got to figure it out. That's business, right? That is going to happen. But when that happens, what do? You start creating standard operating procedures. You start creating, barriers from that happening again, right? You start putting things into place to say, I do not want to be here again. And so when I do that, what do? I teach you guys about it. So there's a reason that I have been critical about non-CDL Hotshot, about CDL Hotshot, because I do not think that either of those are the best way to build a sustainable business that's going to feed your families. I do not believe so. Do I believe that they can be done? I made the video that I said, should you get into it? I said, maybe, right? I said, okay, yeah, maybe. There are reasons to do it, and there are ways to do it that you can be profitable and you can be successful. But what I think people believe non-CDL Hotshot to be and believe CDL Hotshot to be compared to what it actually is are two separate things. So I want you to go into understanding what it actually is and what you're actually going to need to do to be successful, and not just think, hey, if I buy a truck and trailer and get on the road and get on the load boards, I'll be able to book $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 worth of freight every single week like butter, right? It'll be easy. That world does not exist, guys. When I started back in 2020, that world was kind of there, right? 2019, 2018, pre-COVID, right? It was kind of there where you can just have a brand new authority, jump on the boards. A lot of brokers would use you. You wouldn't have many problems. Today, though, most brokers won't even use you. I talk about this all the time, right? Like, you get brand new authority, you're going to get messed up. So what do? I learn from all of this, guys, and I give you a video that says, hey, if you want to be successful right now, this is what I would do. Do I care if you follow that advice or not? Do I truly care? No, I do not. But who do I care about? I care about you. I want you to be able to feed your family. No one deserves to be in that position. Okay, and I see it too many times. I have people call me and they just started Hotshot trucking because they watched an Instagram video or TikTok or whatever. They went out and bought a platinum F250. They paid 90 grand on it or 80 grand on it or vice versa. And they're running it down the drain, making no money on it. And they have a 7 to 8 year loan on it. So you know what I tell them, guys? I tell them, listen, what your truck worth right now versus what you owe on it, your truck's probably worth this compared to what you owe on it. After 3 years, when that truck has 300,000 miles and you've only been making your minimum monthly payment, what you're going to owe on it is probably going to be right here, and your truck value is probably going to be way down here, and you're going to be $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 flipped. You know what the truth is? You did not make enough money to put back enough to be able to get yourself out of that truck. That's the truth of it. That's the truth of it. Would you, watching this video, would you want to be in that position? Would you want that to happen? No. So how about now, when we're right here, when we already made the decision that I probably would not have made, but hey, here we are. Let's work with it. Let's cook. Maybe let's do something right here so that we don't end up right here. So we don't end up getting completely and utterly screwed. I've seen so many people get completely and utterly screwed. Okay, we make decisions. We have consequences for our decisions. That is part of the game, right? But if you're in a position where you are watching this video and you want to start a non-CDL Hotshot trucking company, CDL Hotshot trucking, or any company out there in the world, just do your research. Talk to multiple different people about it. Don't only just talk to the people who are in it, making YouTube videos like myself or other people, or people who are in it on Instagram, TikTok, selling you services or whatever the case may be. Go to the Facebook pages, all right? Go find people who are actually doing this in their local areas and talk to them. Have a candid one-on-one conversation. How are you doing? Go to the truck stop. Drive around the truck stop. You see somebody in Hotshot, roll your window down and say, hey man, how's it going? Talk to them for a minute. Say, you like it out here? And I bet a lot of them would say no. A lot of them say, I can't go home because I have too much overhead right now because I have a high insurance payment, my truck payment's high, my trailer payment's high, and the rates suck. And so I haven't been able to go home in 5 weeks. Do you want to be in that world? No, you don't. So what do? We learn from that. We build a system so that you don't have to do that, right? That's all I'm trying to do, guys, is help you build a system to have a sustainable business, to have a business that you can build, that can be profitable, that can give you time home with your kids, that can get you, holidays home where you're not just continually stressing over every single holiday about how your bills are going to be paid. All right. So that's all I'm trying to do with these videos, guys, is help you create a successful hotshot trucking business. And if you're in a position where you can go straight to semi-truck, I would advise it, guys. I would advise it, because you know why? There's more freight out there. You can make more money. You can have higher profit margins, and you can put more food on your kids' table and be home with your kids even more. If you guys want a one-on-one business consultation, go down to howtohotshot.com. But remember, guys, the most important part of this video, I've been outed. I hope you fail, and I hate competition. So we'll talk to you guys later. You have a good day.